The difficult conversations you're avoiding is a big reason why your intuition feels really confusing. It's why you struggle connecting to your spirit guides with clarity. It's why you struggle feeling like you can actually trust what you're receiving. Because what we're avoiding in our actual day-to-day life, in relationships, in our career, and our connection to ourselves will mimic and be projected onto your connection to spirit, to your intuition. And this is the really difficult part that I think we really butt up against as people on our spiritual awakening is we want our spirit guides to be really clear to us. Our intuition is so amazing and we don't doubt it, but yet in our actual lives, we don't even listen to ourselves. If you are in a moment where you are like, I don't really know if this is my guide. I don't know if I'm making it up. I don't know how to follow and actually connect into my intuition. I can guarantee you that there is an aspect within your life that you need to dive deeper into in regards to, do you trust yourself? If you're saying, I don't trust my guides, do you trust yourself? And have you learned how to develop self-trust? Because your intuition will require it. If you are saying that you feel as though you have to do all of the work to try to connect into your intuition and your guides, and it feels like it's so easy for other people in your life, where are you putting in unequal amount of work? Where is there a belief system where you believe that you have to be the one to do all of the work in relationships, at home, in your job, in your career? If you don't do it, nobody else will. This will mimic onto your relationship with spirit, because what is in one thing is in the all. What you believe in one part of your life will affect your connection to your relationship. That is why a lot of people in their spiritual awakening, especially in the beginning, will have this beautiful, like euphoric feeling of love and connection, and everything looks beautiful around them. They say the statements that they're reading of, I am light, I am love, I connected to all things, I am universe. But in your life, you do not play that way. You play small. You feel as though everyone is using you, that you have to be the one to take care of everything, that nothing is really working out for you. You say these things, but you don't be these things in your day-to-day life. And that is where the disconnection happens. That's where most people get stuck and stagnant in their spiritual journey. And they feel like nothing's really working for me. Why are these other people having this advancement? Why are they able to talk to their guides? Some people are just more connected in naturally to mediumship and the connection to their clairaudience than other people. It's like just a natural more ability, but it doesn't mean that that's not something that you can't develop and create. A lot of times what's happening is you are avoiding the work in your day-to-day life that will actually change your connection to spirit. Everyone wants their psychic abilities. Everyone wants their connection to their guides and their intuition to be like, boom, clear, amazing. But reading about it and going to a retreat and then taking medicine and doing this, that won't actually be what sustains it. They will be doorways into this kind of new awareness, but they won't be the food, the sustenance that will actually maintain and grow that. Okay. I want you to think of books and courses and sessions as initiators, as awakeners, but they are not what actually grows the muscle at the end of your day. And that's why I created How to Actually Change Your Life, because it is the day-to-day actions that you take connected to your sense of identity. Do you identify as the intuitive? Do you identify and create the identity of someone who trusts themselves, who connects into spirit with clarity, who doesn't second guess their intuition, who doesn't cross their own inner boundaries? Are you someone who has created a lifestyle like that? That is why I created that, because it was absolutely necessary to create such a rock solid connection to your intuition. It is what I needed. You have to learn how to take this initiation, these raw abilities, and make it a part of who you are. And what that means is learning how to trust yourself, learning how to not cross your own boundaries, learning how to respect your own authority, learning how to start making choices that are incredibly uncomfortable so that you can say, I no longer desire to live a life that is not led by my intuition, my soul, my joy, my peace, my happiness. That requires work on the actual day-to-day front. And that's incredibly difficult. It is so easy to get lost in the illusion of spirituality. It is so easy to get lost in the world of extraterrestrials and of manifestation and of angel numbers and of spirit and of channeling. And I'm not saying that because that's bad, because that's actually what I connect into every single day, right? But it becomes illusionary. It becomes a band-aid. It becomes a dream when you don't learn how to take that and actually become the intuitive, the soul, in how you walk through your day-to-day life. That's what actually creates the difference. That's how you quantum leap. That's how you change your life. That's how your psychic and spiritual abilities actually have clarity, and you can connect into them, and they actually help you. They're not just you close your eyes and see random faces and you don't know what to do with it. That is a necessary part of it, okay? There's a necessary part of the awakening. There's no shame. I experienced that for many, many years. I would close my eyes and see faces all the time. And I'm like, oh, I got to go find some man over in India and go talk to him. No, they're random images, random faces that you're receiving. To really mature in your spiritual awakening requires you to start changing your life. It requires you to start having hard conversations that you don't want to have. I had this feeling for majority of my life of I have to be the one to take care of everything. The only reason why people are with me is because of what I can do for them. No one actually cares about me. No one actually worries about me. Okay. And if I stop doing things for other people, or I speak up and I say, hey, this is what I need. If I ask for a little bit too much, people are going to drop me. That is a energetic thread. The martyr complex is the victim energy. It is the programming that most women run to some extent or another. It can be more prevalent in your life. A lot of people say, I've healed that. No, you haven't. You've healed a layer of it, but usually there's a deeper layer to it. Usually there's a deeper layer that's more unconscious. Yeah, you stopped having this conversation with this person, but you're still betraying yourself. And so the spiritual awakening journey requires you to truly learn who you are in all aspects. That's why I tell people, if you want your psychic abilities, if you want to help other people, if you want to be a person who is literally channeling spirit, then you need to focus on you. It's the cart before the horse. We think if only God, spirit would just imbue me with this clarity, with my intuition, if they would only manifest in front of me, then all of a sudden everything will be different and I will trust it. But what actually creates the outcome is the process. And most people don't want the process. They want the outcome. There's a quote that I heard, if it's not working for you yet, it's still working on you. And boom, that just was such a beautiful way to put it. If your spiritual awakening, if your meditation, your healing work is not working for you yet, meaning you don't have the outcome, it's still working on you. That's perfect. That's beautiful. One of the biggest breaks with that victim martyr mentality was this thought of, I got to do everything. I got to do this. And it's because I chose that rather than the discomfort of speaking up and saying, this is a boundary of mine. This is what I need in a relationship. And this is what I require. My fear was that my fear of I'm unworthy is going to actually really be met here. And they're going to say, that's not for me. I don't want that. You're asking too much. Who are you to think that you can ask that of me? They're going to deny me, abandon me, silence me. They're going to say I'm too emotional. My worst fear is going to come to light. So yes, I will keep up this me doing it all. And I will feel this microaggression of anger and passive aggressiveness throughout my entire life, because that is safer for me to stay in that discomfort than to truly face the deep fear that I am not worthy and they will leave me if I ask for too much. That's what many of my other students and people that I work with struggle with. We have to understand we are not a victim to many things that we believe that we're a victim to. We're agreeing to them. And in some ways, we would rather have that discomfort of breaking apart and taking care of everything and being the one who can always understand everyone else's perspective, but yet no one ever takes into account our perspective, because you don't take into account your perspective. You don't make yourself important. The moment I started having difficult conversations, literally wanting to throw up, crying, shaking, terrified of what this person will then see in me, for me saying, this relationship isn't working. Or I feel hurt by this. I need this to change. This isn't supportive for me. Once I started having those conversations and actually watching the breakdown of that relationship happening and my worst fear really coming true, it changes you. I think we're trying to avoid a death that I spoke to someone here recently. I said, it's like on Oregon Trail. If you remember that game that we played growing up on the computer, it's like Oregon Trail. Someone was going to die from dysentery from eating like rancid meat, right? And so a lot of people are carrying around relationships and connections either to other people and or to themselves that is rancid, okay? It is past its prime, but you're afraid to let it go. And so you have micro dosing every single day of some sort of discomfort because you're too afraid to cut it. You're too afraid to speak the truth. Hey, this is no longer good. Can we transform this? This is my boundaries. What are your boundaries? What do you need in a relationship? What do I need in a relationship? And sometimes if we can't meet each other, it doesn't mean that one person has to change if they don't desire to. It means I love you, but this isn't supportive for me. I love you, but our relationship then has to be shifted. That to the empathic good girl who grew up making sure that everyone else was okay, who grew up biting her tongue, who grew up where people didn't need to worry about you. They knew you would be strong enough, so they had to worry about the people who would completely fall apart and lose their minds. For people like you, like me, this is the scariest thing you've ever done. I had to let people show me that when I speak up, it's too much and they do walk away. And I have to be okay with that. We hold on not because of them, but because of us. And so when I started to realize that the reason why I didn't trust my intuition, being tricked or deceived by other entities or things like that, was truly because that's my own fears inside of me, that I'm tricking me, that I don't really know myself, that I don't trust myself, that I don't listen to myself. Okay. Then I projected onto my spiritual abilities. I projected on to my guides. I projected on to non-physical entities. That's why I saw such scary images my entire life. That's why I was afraid of possessions and demons and things like that, because there was a belief that I could be controlled and I could be tricked and I could be deceived and I couldn't meet my own power. So I have to project that into my environment. Because I can't meet it, then I get to meet it through another means. A means of, oh, when I close my eyes at night, I see demons, I see scary faces. I fixed that, which I did. And that took years. Oh my gosh, years of meeting that fear, years of meeting the actual coding of the fear of control, the fear of possession, the fear of trickery. And to say, I know myself. I trust myself. How did I develop that? I sat with myself each day. I got aware of all of the projections that I was projecting onto myself and other people. What do I mean when I say projections? Meaning, let's take the martyr thing. I got to do everything for everyone else. There's a baseline belief of that. And you'll find, even in the spiritual community, they'll talk a lot about energy vampires. But what they don't talk about is that we love to hook on to the thought of energy vampires because it makes someone else the issue. But you agree to the energy of the energy vampire. It gives you something. I had to really step in and remove my sense of protection of everyone uses me to you're using them as well. You agreed to this relationship. You need to feel disempowered so that it gives you an excuse to not step into your power. If you don't agree that this is right for you, that's fine. This is right for me. I got to the point where I could say that. I feel disempowered by these people, not because they're users, but because their energy and their approval of me meant so much that to not have it would feel like death. So I needed to feel useful even if I was being used. Once I learned to hold my own worthiness, my own authority, that doesn't just happen by a decision, that happens through an embodiment. The way I teach it is how to do it each day by connecting into how to actually change your life. It's how to actually become that identity. That's not just like an overnight thing. People will make it seem like I had this awakening, I had this healing, I had this Akashic reading, and then all of a sudden that went away. I call BS. You had an initiation. You had a door opening. You had an awareness shown in a way that wasn't shown before. But if you don't continually meet that and grow that muscle, that is a surface level belief that you have. But your subconscious and your inner workings are running a different programming. And that's where disillusion comes in. It is the healer and intuitive who knows that they're here to help other people, but they always feel taken advantage of. So if your desire is not to live on a surface level of your intuition, then it's learning how to get into the energy. And what I utilize is connecting to the body, speaking to the shadow, and speaking to the inner child to rewrite these beliefs. Now, my shadow work and inner child work is not what you see other people do. It is quite literally transmuting energy, reclaiming yourself. It is symbolically creating a representation of the shadow being everything you don't like about yourself, the stuff you shame about yourself. That's where that passive aggressive anger really comes out, is out of our shadow. And through symbolically creating different picture forms, we shift the energy. And when we shift the energy in the picture form symbolically, and this, roll with me here, okay? Because this is something I teach you, so it can be a little confusing right here. You then shift the energy internally, okay? That's how, I'll say this is how remote energy healing works. Like, this person can be across the world and they can be looking at a teddy bear, like what a lot of Reiki energy healers do when they move through your chakras, and you feel it. Why? Because that teddy bear or that piece of paper with the human body is a symbolic representation that is being shifted, that interacts with you because we made the choice for it to shift you. Same thing. We bring up the shadow. Everything we see about the shadow is a piece of the puzzle of what your current inner landscape is. It's an abstract form, an abstract picture to help you understand what can't be fully understood. So we use picture form and we shift it there. Okay? I teach you how to do this. So then you shift yourself. I didn't know I was doing shadow work at all. What happened is I sat every single day in meditation. Every single day. What is it that I'm not able to see? What most wants to come up that I haven't been able to fully process? And my guides would start showing me this imagery, and I would be like, what am I supposed to do with this? And they would tell me what to do. Now do this. Now ask this. Now change this. Now ask this picture. It wasn't until I would say a few years later where I was like, oh, I guess I'll read about what shadow work is, because I really felt like pushed off by it. Like, I don't need to go into the darkness. I've lived in darkness for 32 years of my life. I want to live in the expansion and the light. Like, shadow work felt so opposite of me, but it was actually what I was doing so that I could actually trust myself. So that's why I say my shadow work is different. It's not journal entries, which it can be. You can add that in. It's symbolically transmuting energy so that you reclaim your own truth. You become the identity of the intuitive. You learn to live by that. So it's no longer, you're not swimming upstream to try to connect into your intuition and your guides. It's just the identity of who you are. You have to restructure that. You restructure that in your day to day. It can be seated in the etheric. It can be initiated by the spiritual divine energy of a beautiful meditation where all of a sudden it's like, I'm here in the expansive state and I'm seeing all these guides and I'm having this amazing experience. It can be on a Reiki table where you're having an energy healing and it's like crazy. Those are initiations. They aren't the sustenance. It's the day-to-day activity. This is what's required of you. This is what's required of you if you do not want surface level connection. I'm always interested in discovering more, but I didn't know myself. And so by learning yourself and understanding yourself and then being real with yourself, changing the beliefs and programs of disempowerment, of victim state, of martyr mentality, of the fear of not having any control, the fear of possession, the fear of going crazy. These are all these kind of archetypal energies a lot of us run. By shifting that, your intuition and psychic abilities get so clear. Okay. So I spoke about how to actually change your life. That course is available for you to buy at any point. It is self-paced. It really teaches you how to day to day connect into the shadow symbolically. How do you create the identity? How do you release beliefs about yourself? How do you recode yourself? Okay. Awaken course will connect you into your psychic abilities, will connect you into your spirit guides, it will connect you into mediumship if that's something you're interested in. But if you want to go like further, like if you know that this is something that you're desiring to really experience, like you are like, I want to connect into my intuition, I want to do the healing, I want to become the intuitive, and you want more than just a self-led course, my 3-month mentorship, I'm actually offering a 12-month mentorship as well, would be it. It includes the courses included into it. It includes 2 to 3 sessions a month, depending on what you desire, for me to actually connect in with you while we're moving through this of releasing the programs, recoding them, learning how do you want to show up? What is it that you want to be? Connecting to your guides, connecting into your psychic ability so that you can actually become the intuitive that you desire and not live on the surface of it. If you want more information for it, it will be below. If you like this episode, please, please like and review, share this podcast. I literally created it and didn't market it at all for almost, now it's a year and a half, and it has blown up. I did it because I need a place to speak. I need a place to share. I need a place to connect. And this has really been a gift to me. And to hear your guys' responses from this podcast, how this podcast has affected you, means so much to me as well. Comment below what hit you most about this session. And until next time, stop trying to be spiritual.